Right, I've been asked to come and look at this plum tree. Now if you look at this plum tree, there's no funny wound at the bottom. Now, what you're looking for when you're buying a fruit tree, you want a leg coming up and then another like dog leg coming off it. Then you know that it's got a dwarfing rootstock, and what a dwarfing rootstock will do, it won't let it get any, it'll only get a third of the size of this and get covered in plums. Now this one has been bought from a dubious source, probably one of them in a bag from a supermarket, and it's a seedling one. So it's going back to the old plum tree, so it's going to have to get massive before it starts fruiting. So for a small garden, he's had it, I don't know how many years, and it's just never had any fruit on it at all. So what we're going to do, we're going to take it out and get a proper one for him, and then he gets fruit. Right, I'm going to do a video on how to cut a tree down. Now, because this tree is leaning that way, we've got to do what's called a step cut to try and drop it that way so that it doesn't fall on anything. Now the other thing, this tree is quite unbalanced, so what we might do is take a couple of branches off first and basically take it down rather than drop it as a full tree. So that's the start of what we're doing. Hello, so I'm just going to take some weight out of this tree so we've not as much to drop. I know it's not a big tree, but I'm just showing you what to do. I'm just taking a couple of branches off. Okay, let's go. Now I'm going to do something called a step cut, where you go through and then you go a bit higher and then it'll snap off rather than rip. Because if you just cut it through one side, it could rip down the stem. Now if you're doing this for a tree pruning that you're going to keep the tree, you don't want it to rip all the way down the bark. So you do a step cut first, which is like that. And then you go above it about an inch and come down. Drop it straight down. I've been sent this Stihl MSA 70C. Now this is a perfect little chainsaw for doing home pruning, firewood, things like that. Some of the safety features, it's got lots of different switches so you can't set it off by accident, but another one is it's got a double, one click means the battery won't fall out, 2 clicks and it's live and ready to go, and then you've got about 3 buttons you have to press. Hello, right, what I'm going to show you now is how to do what they call a step cut. Now what a step cut is, you cut in halfway and then halfway from the back and then stop, put the chainsaw down, and then you can push it exactly where you want it to go so it doesn't fall in a silly place. So first job, take your chain brake off, get down, get it in position and start sawing. Right, so you go in close and cut like that as a step cut. Cut about 50% of the way through and then go an inch higher and then go back in again. Take the chain brake off, put the chainsaw well out of the way so it's safe. Get round the back of the tree and push it in the direction you want it to go. Interesting fact. That is, it actually is quite a perfect step cut. I've gone halfway through at the bottom and then another halfway through at the back. Could have probably gone a bit higher, and then the tree has fallen straight. Now, I'm going to do a back cut. Take chain brake off, get into the back position. Now what's good about this chainsaw, because it's got a micro blade on it, it's so smooth, the cut. If this tree you wanted to keep, or you're doing pruning in your garden, that lovely fine cut and this lovely fine blade makes a nice clean cut for pruning living trees as well. Hello, right, I'm going to now cut the branches off so that I can put it in the saw horse and cut it into logs and then dry it for firewood. Now these these secateurs will cut through fairly thick wood. So they're proper handy. Now, look at that. That's something to show you. That is a bacterial disease called canker. So this tree also had a bit of canker. Now if you get that, you're better to go below the canker and cut it out like that. And then you've got rid of it, because it is bacterial. You can't spray it with anything, and you can see it's starting to go down the centre of the tree. So if you get canker in any of your fruit trees, you can take it off. But I always say with stone fruit, if you don't have to prune them, don't prune them. You're better to band the branches down than pruning them, because when you prune them, and especially in the autumn, the sap's going back down and it takes all the pathogens down with it, and you get silver leaf. As sure as as easy as anything, everybody I know who prunes cherry trees and plum trees in the autumn gets silver leaf. You're supposed to do it in the spring, and if you have to prune them, but try not to, and they'll bleed themselves clean. Right, somebody's been saying about these power secateurs that once they start cutting, they just go straight through. I'm just showing you, if you touch them, see, they're reactive. So if you do find it going into something you don't want, you can stop it, but once you keep your finger down, clean as a whistle. Because this is a domestic chainsaw, I think the majority of the cuts it's going to be using is for cutting up firewood. Now this has got a micro chain on it. It makes it really good for garden pruning, but also it doesn't use as much energy, so the battery lasts a lot longer. Apparently it'll run for about 45 minutes this. So I'm going to just see how it cuts through this log. Like a knife through butter. Now look at that. That bacterial canker looks like it's gone all the way down the centre of the tree. So this tree was pretty doomed anyway. Now what I do with these logs now is pile them up in your garden in a sunny position and leave them, and it makes a nice little bug hotel. So all your little invertebrates can go in, and once they've been dried you can use them for firewood. Right, once you've cut your tree down and you've got all your branches, Mr. Still has come and lent me this. It's only on borrow at the moment. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to shred all these branches up and make a mulch. So the idea is you don't have to fill your green bin, and this will all get recycled and broken down. I'll show you what I do with it next. Okay, let's give it a go. I've finished shredding now, and look at this, what it's chopped. That great big tree, I've nearly shredded the whole tree, and it's made it into this lovely mulch. Now what I do with this mulch now is take it over to the garden, and I'm lazy, I just tip it out on the garden. Now if you don't like it, you can put it straight in your green bin, and look how little space it's took up. But if you put about 3 inches, no more, of mulch on your ground like that, it very quickly goes down and starts looking like wood chip, which is very nice. And all the worms and all the invertebrates and all the little wood lice and everything all come up, and they chew it all to bits, and then all them nutrients go back into the soil and make your garden soil like a woodland soil. So I've turned my heavy clay soil, by doing this, into like woodland soil. It's took a few years, but you're recycling everything you do, and it saves the green bin men coming round. And it stops all the weeds as well. Okay, while Mr. Stills here, he's lent me his blower. So I'm going to blow all the leaves into a pile, and then he's got a sucker that chops them all up. So let's give it a go. Hang on. Hey up, it's got some power. Right, the other thing that this has got on it, it's got an extension thing, so you can get right down close to for your stubborn stains. So he's just shown me an interesting fact about this thing. It's got, you can rev it up like a motorbike. So if you want a gentle blow to save stuff going everywhere, you can change the force. So when you get near your big pile of leaves for raking it up, you can slow it down. Right, ready for my next bit of kit. Hello, this is my next bit of kit that Mr. Stills lent me. It's a cordless vacuum shredder. Uses same battery as a blower, chainsaw. It's all on the AK size. Right, let's give it a go. Apparently, 10 buckets of leaves makes 1 bucket of shredding, so it chops it down 10 to 1. Interesting fact.